Hey everybody, I'm Heidelin with Austin Entertainment Management, our weekly music strategy live. I'm here with my co-host Swear Words. What's going on, man?
What's up, Heidi? Nothing really. Same old stuff. Same old stuff. Loving life.
Well, on Monday at our networking meeting, you said you wanted some accountability to your songwriting. So how's that been going?
Hmm. So far, it's okay. I still get stuck, and maybe I'm not giving myself enough credit because I've been just trying to find the motivation and discipline to just sit down and write. And then I take the moments where, like, whether I'm out and about and doing something completely different and I feel inspired for a second, I've just been trying to jot it down. But it's been difficult because it's been kind of uninspired lately, but I just been trying to at least stick with some motivation, some discipline to try to get through.
All right, well, this episode is all about you. So stay tuned for that while we talk about what are you going to do when you're feeling uninspired. But first, this has been like a super, super awesome week. I've got like so much stuff just to kind of talk about with new stuff that's going on with Austin Entertainment Management and things that we have coming up for you to look forward to. So let's see. I'm going to start with talking about our Pharmapalooza stuff. It's so close. I was going to Google how many days it is now. It's less than 28 because I just did a video earlier this week. It's so soon. Oh my goodness. So it's June 9th and 10th, and it's in Kaukauna, Wisconsin. And we are sponsors of this event. And I have been interviewing all of the bands. And this week, we have like a super special series for Annie B. We've got a 4-part interview series with Annie B because you guys have got to hear what she has to say. She's got so much good stuff and such a great vision, and she's going to be very inspiring to you musicians out there. I think that she might trigger some awesome ideas. And it was so funny to me that we had met at the particular time that we did to do this interview because earlier in the week, I had met with Greg Davis. His company is Azola Creative, and he's a marketing operations consultant. But he's not just your average consultant. He's a singer-songwriter, and he toured and worked in the industry for a while, but as many people know, that kind of lifestyle kind of gets sort of exhausting after a while, playing out and doing shows all the time for some people. So he was kind of rethinking how he was going to incorporate music into his life. And marketing is one of his top skills, something he enjoys doing, something he enjoys teaching to businesses. So he combined the two. And I met Greg by going to a networking meeting, and he was one of the speakers. And what I thought was so incredible by his presentation is not only did we learn some great stuff about marketing, but when he played his songs in between, not only did it prove his point of which he was teaching, but people got their cell phones out and they were recording this and they're like, oh, I've got to send this to so and so. And I'm like, that's way more engagement than we normally see with any of the speakers that come in. So I was like, okay. The seed was kind of already planted, and I'm already moving in this direction too. The things that I coach about are the things that I write about in my lyrics. So I'm starting pieces together. So first, Greg gives me a couple of puzzle. I'm getting him as a speaker for our June meeting. So that would be the third Monday of the month in June. I didn't write down what that date is. But in about a month, for him to come and speak to us about how to creatively take your music and merge it with another skill that you have that would be helpful to people. And so we've got that coming up. And Mike, can you post the link for Azola Creative?
I sure could.
I don't have him up on the website yet, but I want you guys to be able to check him out and learn more about his company. So Greg, he's super cool. So that happened on Thursday, and then I met with Annie B on Sunday. Annie B and I had such a time. We were on Zoom for 2 hours. It might have even been longer than that, but we just had a great time and we created a lot of content that night. So therefore, we've got the 4-part series, and I really encourage you to check that out. So rather than it just airing on Friday, the first one is going to be airing tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then there will be one on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, so I'm very excited for you guys to see this one. It's very good. Okay, so anyway, also this week, someone reached out to me, and this is a very good example of using social media and networking and stepping outside of your comfort zone. Alex Richardson reached out to me on my music page and said, "Hey, is your band in Wisconsin?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, I promote bands from Wisconsin on my page." And so his website is Scout Wisconsin Music. And we decided that we're going to partner with each other because he's wanted to do more video interviews with bands, but he hasn't been able to have the time because you see, these projects, this project that you see right here with Austin Entertainment Management, this isn't a full-time gig. This is something we do in addition to all of our full-time jobs and side gigs and things like that. So this website is so cool what Alex has put together. He is taking his own spare time to put together this directory, find the local Wisconsin music and put it together as a directory. So as a listener, if you're looking for new music and you want to see what's going on in Wisconsin, there's a lot. And he's put it all together so you can just, find new music all day long. And if you're a band, he's putting together a directory so that you can find resources. A lot like what we're doing at Austin Entertainment Management. But the thing is, there's so many different resources out there. So having like a couple hubs that you can go to in each state is kind of what I've been trying to find as I network and put together our resources for Austin Entertainment Management. So I thought it was amazing that Alex reached out, and it's just a perfect fit. So he's going to be sharing our band interviews on his page, and we're going to be recommending people go visit his page so you can check out Wisconsin music. And if you're a musician, get hooked up with some resources in Wisconsin as well. So that was super cool that happened this week. And we're going to be hearing from Alex. So here's my other big announcement. So I am going to Wisconsin to play Pharmapalooza with my band Mast, and that is going to require that once I get to Wisconsin, we are going to have to rehearse together for the first time since 2016 so that we actually sound good. So with that being said, we're going to take a 2-week summer break vacation from our live stream Wednesday morning. However, you do not need to worry that you will have nothing to do at 10:30 in the morning on Wednesday. I have remedied that by setting up 2 interviews. One has already been recorded and it's with Alex. So he's going to be talking all about his Scout Wisconsin music page. So all the ins and out details about it, learn more about how cool Alex is in that interview. So that is going to be the first Wednesday in June. That's backwards. Scratch that. That's going to be the second Wednesday in June. And that's going to wrap up all of kind of our Wisconsin series with Pharmapalooza. Now, the week I should have talked about first, the first week in June, we're going to be hearing from Jason Mansavage, who is the promoter of Pharmapalooza. And he is the dude that has scouted out awesome bands, not just from Wisconsin, but all over. And this is not the first amazing show that he has put together. This is the second of his festivals that I've participated in. And, you know, if you're looking to tour to Wisconsin and you want to play a show there, Jason Mansavage is a great person for you to know. So we're going to be doing an interview with him. He's going to talk more about his love for music and why he likes kind of putting these things together and how the whole Pharmapalooza thing even came to be. So that's going to be a really interesting interview, and you'll be able to catch that in the first week of June. He's also going to be sharing details of what you should know if you're planning to come, you know, what you should bring, what to expect, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Lots of fun stuff to look forward to. What are you going to do with your vacation, Mike?
Work on my writing.
That is the correct
Achieve
answer,
my goals. Yep.
After your request to be held
More
accountable at the monthly meeting, that was the only answer. Okay, so let's talk about the monthly meeting for a second. So we really focused this month on networking. And I really think that in the future, like at least quarterly, we're going to do just a meeting that is specific toward increasing our skill around networking. Because showing up is like a huge part of it. But if you show up and you don't talk to anybody, or you show up and you don't participate, or if you show up for 5 minutes and then get scared and run away, like it's not going to really benefit you much. So there's kind of a process that you could follow that works. And so we talked about that at the beginning of the meeting, and then we followed that process. And basically what we did is we had a brief time to kind of introduce ourselves and what we were doing. And in networking, a lot of times they call that an elevator speech, because if you were stuck in an elevator with, I don't know, an A&R guy and you wanted to quick pitch your band, you're only going to have about 30 seconds to a minute to do it. So a lot of going to networking is practicing that I'll only have 30 seconds to a minute to pitch you. So what does that look like? And to practice it so you don't screw it up, right? And then at the end of that pitch, you want to have like a call to action, or you want to have an ask. And especially in networking, you're networking because you're looking for an opportunity. That's the reason why you're doing it. I mean, yeah, it's cool to meet new people, but if you don't kind of have your next step in mind of what you want to accomplish, then you're probably not going to get much out of the networking except maybe a new friend, which is still cool, but not exactly what we're going for here. So in the meeting, we all kind of talked about or what we needed this week, or what we could use Mike's request to be held accountable. So there was one part of the meeting before we start talking more about Mike's songwriting. Joanna shared with us a TED Talk about networking and how to do it. This TED Talk, we only watched like the first half of it. But just in that first half, I got a lot of ideas. And so we shared that in our Facebook group. So right now, I just want to remind all of you music industry professionals out there, or professional wannabes out there, we started a new Facebook group called Accountable to Music. And so it's set up kind of like an online mastermind where you're going to say what you want to do for the week, and we'll check in with you halfway through the week. So if you're stuck, you can ask for help, and at the end of the week, you can tell us what you got done. And that really is going to help keep you on track. But on top of it, these little resources that we find, these little tips and tricks, we're going to be posting that kind of stuff in the group. And so this is one of those videos. So I highly recommend, if you're a member of the group, you're seeing this, check out that video and then answer the question, like, what ideas does this inspire in you? And I think that is a good pivot into our conversation about feeling uninspired. As the first way, where can you find some inspiration for writing music or your next step of what to do? And first recommendation, find a music group or a music community where you can brainstorm and share ideas. And sometimes just listening to something that someone said can trigger exactly the next step that you need.
Mm.
So Mike's already experienced that. He knows that from being in the group. But I want to talk a little bit more, Mike, because you had touched on the idea that you were writing stuff like the music on the guitar, but then you were like, I don't really know, I'm not really feeling this. So you switched and you started writing lyrics, and that seemed to flow a lot easier for you. Yeah. So that is definitely one way that when it's time to sit down and be creative, and you've scheduled this time for yourself and you're feeling uninspired, well, switch to a different creative modality that still allows you to make forward progress. So that was awesome. But what else have you been doing to help, get inspired when you have time to sit down and do it? Because, you have kids, you've got, side gigs and stuff like that going on. And so when you sit down to work on this, it's like, needs to be go time. So how have you been working through that?
I just been trying to manage my time a little bit better, try to put into perspective and prioritize the things that I'm trying to accomplish and what I want to achieve, at least have a goal for it at the end of the week, end of the day, or whatever it may be. But in like I said, I set aside time for myself to be able to write, so I can kind of be in my own space and navigate my creative flow. But I also understand that there's times where like I'm out on the go. Like Joanna suggested to me, like new experiences and new things and stuff like that. So like when I'm out and I'm seeing things and I feel inspired, I just try to jot them down, and then I can take those things and save them for later. But one of the things that I've been doing to help motivate myself when like I can't find a good riff, or I'm not finding the right lyrics, I just go back and listen to songs that inspired me the most, and like the certain parts of the songs that really I was like drawn to, and like I'll just go over those things, and I'll either like sing with them or karaoke them, and kind of find that passion of what I'm going after, and then that gives me more insight of what I can put down on paper or what message I'm trying to say. It kind of gives me like a topic or a melody and stuff like that. So that's been super helpful.
Okay, so what I heard you say in your own process, in your own way, is that when you felt uninspired, you got to the root passion of why you're even creating music in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
So true.
That is so good, and that actually is what is recommended by coaches for people that are inactive. You see, I'm a productivity coach, and that's what I've discovered is the trigger that will get people into action is really whying it down. I don't know if that's something that Jeff Glouser and I came up with, or it's something that like one of the coaches out there that we listen to started, and then we just play this game together. But it's a game that you can play with yourself. It's like when you play this game, a lot of the times it's like, well, why do I want this? The first couple answers that you're going to give are kind of like superficial, like really like you want it, but is it really motivating enough to get it? Like, is the pain of going for that worse than the pain of not doing anything at all? You know? So you've got to keep digging like a little deeper, like why it down a little more. So after you've got your first answer, then you say, well, why do I want that? And then answer again, well, why do I want that? Just be like a little annoying kid. But why? But why? So it could be kind of fun if you just, tap into your inner child for a second.
Yeah.
But that's just it. Like, stop thinking about, I don't know, the difficulty of sitting down to write in that moment and whatever your head talk was saying at that time.
Yeah.
And stop really like thinking so hard and so analytically.
That's my I give that's my biggest problem. It's like I stop my creative flow so I can try to be logical about something that's meant to be creative, and
and emotional.
Yeah.
There's nothing logical about emotion. It's like
Yeah.
this crazy force, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I write some of my best songs just from like allowing myself to do what I was gonna hold myself back from. And like some of my songs I've been like hesitant, like, oh, I don't want to curse. It's like, come on, this is for me. Like, what do you mean I don't want to curse? This is how I'm going to express myself. This is what I feel it needs to be. This is what I'm going to do. But like, it's things like that like, it makes me realize like I could be missing my actual message because I'm trying to cater it to somebody else's vision that doesn't exist.
Right. Now there's something else that both of you,
Me and my ego.
I'm in third person right now. Okay, so that both of us have been working on, and this is with the Positive Intelligence Program. I become a positive intelligence coach. You are in the Coaches Grant program right now, and this small process is something I feel has been really great when I need to get into my moments of uninspired. And in fact, it happened this week. Monday rolls around, I'm like, hey, what am I going to do the live stream about this week? And Tuesday rolled around, I'm like, hey, like, I still don't know what we're going to do the live stream about this week. And I sent Mike a message. I'm like, do you have any ideas? Crickets. Nothing. I'm assuming we're busy. That's probably what it was. Not that like
Yeah.
one idea, but like it was, I had nothing. So instead of stressing about it, like I would do in the past, and probably like spend a lot of time like trying to pull the answer out from somewhere, I just let it go and I worked on inviting people to the Pharmapalooza show. And that's what I worked on all day. And yesterday around 3 o'clock, I was like, I should probably really decide what to do. And suddenly, the song Creep by Stone Temple Pilots kind of popped into my head. Like, feeling uninspired. Oh, yeah. I was like, yeah, that's what I wrote to Mike. Like, I was feeling uninspired. And Mike was talking earlier about how he was having problems being inspired when he had to sit down and work on music. And I was like, oh, that doesn't happen to anybody else. No one else can relate to that. So I didn't put any time, energy, effort, letting that all drain out of me. Instead, I stopped thinking about it. I dropped it. And the way I did that, because my stickler saboteur was like, oh no, we must know this right now, and we must have the answers, and we must have this posted, we must do these things. But I shifted by doing what Dr. Shazad teaches us, which is a PQ rep, which is just 2 minutes of intense focus on one of your senses. And when my attention would go, what are we going to do the show on? I'd be like, no, we're just focused on what our fingers feel like when they're rubbed together right now for 2 minutes. And that was able to put me back into a creative mindset, using the right side of the brain, that feeling side of the brain, the creative side of the brain, rather than the logical side of the brain that was telling me that we needed to waste all this energy on this right now. When you're in flow, your songwriting, your art design for your album, your writing of lyrics, whatever it is that you're creatively working on, it should be fun and it should feel in flow. So if it doesn't, just without even like knowing how to do these PQ reps, just go take a walk outside for 2 minutes and look at the sky and breathe in the fresh air and listen to the sounds around you and breathe in. Focus on your breathing for a second. Focus on what's going on around you. You're going to realize how long 2 minutes is when you stop and do this. But it's going to change your perspective. And if you need more than 2 minutes to get yourself out of this, like, oh, well, this part wasn't working with this part, and I don't know how this is going to come together with that. Like, if you're still hearing that, then spend a little bit more time outside.
Yeah.
And just stop thinking. Stop thinking. Then, after you've stopped thinking for just a little bit, ask yourself, why am I creating music? And then play the little why it down game with yourself. And even though this is going to maybe take like 5-10 minutes away from your very precious, maybe only an hour to sit down and work on this, the time that you spend once you get into creative flow is going to feel so much better than the pain of that voice that's like, this isn't good enough. Like, why did I do that? Why do I keep screwing up on this part? You know, the stuff that makes it feel bad when it should be an enjoyable activity, and really kind of cuts down on our creativity.
Yes. Do it all the time. So,
why it down game, Mike.
Yeah.
Why it down game this week.
Yeah, that's my goal. I'll bring it back to reality. Get to the root of it.
So also just in, I guess it's not just in, it came in right before, but one of the members of Austin Entertainment Management, Joanna Tress, has a great event that she has coming up that is going to help you get into your creative flow. I've attended this event. It is, first of all, relaxing. Okay, if you've got a lot of stress as like a creative and you've got like a day job and all of this other stuff going on, it can really kind of pamper your creativity. It's just stuck in a box and it's hard to access sometimes. So what I love about Joanna's event is just it's kind of a way to creatively let loose. And so let me see. I can come over here and post in the chat. She just shared that with me during this. And so I want to add that for all of you. She has just posted that event. So you heard it first on Austin Entertainment Management Music Strategy Live. Joanna has an awesome event and you need to go.
It's going to be awesome.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, so, last one was so cool.
What's that?
I said the last one was so cool.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't do these all the time. So you don't want to miss out on this one. You don't want to miss.
That's right. Catch it while you can.
Hey, she's with us right now. She's here. She said, hey, Joanna. You're welcome. All right. So we need to get out of here. This has been a fun episode. You think you're ready to go write some songs this week, Mike?
Oh, yeah. I'm feeling more motivated now.
All right. Good. I love that. So don't forget, tomorrow is the first of 4 of Annie B's interviews. So make sure to stop back to our Austin Entertainment Music page, or you can visit hellisthebomb.com and you can watch those videos, all the last interviews that I've done as well. So check out hellisthebomb.com. And we'll see all you guys next week.